All right. Ready?
Let's do it.
Bailey, welcome, brother.
Hey Connor, how's it going?
Very, very good. I'm excited to have you here, man. This is on record the first DM appointment setting case study we've ever had on the channel. Over like 51 case studies or 52 case studies we've filmed at this point. We've never had anyone hit 10K plus a month by doing DM settings. So this is going to be a really, really interesting case study because we've never spoken to someone who's been in your position before. So yeah, welcome, brother.
Pleasure to be here, bro. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So to recap the result that you got last month in December, which also, by the way, historically, if you don't know already, usually is a bad month for salespeople, but you did really, really well. Do you want to
Mm.
tell people how well you did in the month of December?
Yeah, so across all of December, managed to clock just over 10K in comms.
Wild.
Yeah, purely just from DM setting.
And how old are you?
23,
23. Right, we're getting old. Right, I'm 25. Right.
23 years young.
23 years young.
Yeah.
Right. And to tell the guys as well, over the last 7 days opening into 2026, how much commissions did you do just in the last week?
Yeah, this week, so January, it's like probably one of our busiest months of the year. And literally just been killing it this week, especially, all the other guys on the team as well. But me personally, I managed to clock up just over 5K in comms this week.
Beautiful. Amazing. So,
So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
half of what you did in a record month last month. And I think you said before we hopped on, you're aiming for 15 this month, which is
Yeah.
crazy how that standard is raised and the bars move so quickly. But obviously, as I do with any interview, it's always great to look at the highlights, which we've just gone through. But let's go back before you met me and before you got into high ticket sales. Did you try to make money online with different things in the past? Where you're at? What were you doing for a career? And what made you get into high ticket sales?
Yeah, for sure. I think man, I've been trying to make money online for like ages, like a long time. But I've always been like half in, half out in terms of like work and managing, just my personal life as well. So, I've tried e-com, I've tried marketing agencies, I've tried affiliate marketing, social media. Like I've tried a lot of different things. And I think it's just been a pretty big accumulation of just learning skills, but just sucking at them at the start and getting no results for a long
Mm,
time.
yeah,
And then eventually you're able to, start crafting things together with the skills that you have built. And, you catch a break as well where you get a good opportunity and then you make the most of the opportunity as well when you crush it. And then it all just comes together. So
love that. And for a lot of people watching this, like they've most likely tried to make money online in the past, just as I did before high ticket sales, just as pretty much 90% of my clients have prior and previous. What were you doing for work before you actually got into this? Like, what was your 9 to 5?
Um, before I started trying to make money online, I was in FIFO industry. So as a process plant operator, I was doing that for about 2 years, and that was pretty good money, to be honest. Like I managed to save up quite a bit of money,
Mm-hmm.
and my initial plan was to buy a house, and then that didn't end up going through for whatever reason. And then I'm like, what, I don't want to keep working on a mine site for the rest of my life. I don't want to end up like a grumpy old man, 50 years old, that's worked half his life away from home. So I'm like, what, let me try and do something else. And I just use those savings as a bit of a runway for myself
Mm-hmm.
over that 2 year period. And yeah, I managed to eventually make it work, but definitely took some time to get there. So
It's an interesting conclusion to come through. Come to. I'm quite curious as to how you arrived there, because obviously you can look at the other people that you're working with and observe, okay, that's not what I want 50 years from now. But for those that
mm,
aren't aware of that are watching this case study that aren't Australian, most FIFO workers earn great money, like you said. So what was the main shift or change for you that was kind of like, I really want to give this a crack and I really want to do something now rather than later, as opposed to just comparing yourself to other people around you? Like what was the shift or change that made you, take this more seriously?
I think it was just realizing I just wanted more out of life. Like even with working away, but it's the same thing for people who work jobs they don't enjoy as well. It's like you're always spending time away from doing the things you want to do, or you have to wake up early, go to work, come home, you've got no time for yourself, and it's just a constant battle and it's a grind. And I mean, me, fortunately enough, like I was managed to realize that early. That's not something that I want to do, and I put myself in a position where, I could have a runway of time to actually figure something out to get myself out of that. And then obviously worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, then you just go back to the job, save up a bit more money, and then you try again. So
Interesting. So it was more about like lifestyle and control, you would say.
yeah, for sure.
Nice. I think that's a great question posed to a lot of people that are watching this as well, because like, I'd be asked the same question if I was in anyone's position exploring opportunity like high ticket sales. In regardless of the amount of case studies and social proof we have on the channel, there are still people that would be sitting there being skeptical. And I think a great thing that you acknowledged there was my worst case scenario is everyone else's scenario, which is going back to what I was doing, right?
Hmm.
Whereas like if you're looking at high ticket sales as an opportunity or making money online and considering it as a risk, yes, it is a risk. It's always going to be a risk, but the biggest risk is staying where you're at if you're unhappy and you're uncomfortable. Because the worst
Mm.
thing you can be is being comfortable being uncomfortable, which is what most people kind of end up doing if they stick a career that is just okay, or they're just getting by, or they're somewhat satisfied. There's always like an inkling of more, which I think was a great idea that you presented there. So you had these ideas, you wanted to do something different. What, when did you come across my content? How did you find me, and how did you end up working with me?
Um, I found you, well, it would have been a long time ago, like from other creators' content, there was another program, can't remember what it was called, like Elite Accelerator or something. I didn't do that program, but I seen you were one of the coaches in there. And
Mm-hmm.
then it kind of just went to the back of my memory for like, another 1, 2 years. And then I realized when I wanted to shift out of my marketing agency, which is what I was doing previously, into sales, which is the one part of that business that I actually found success in and actually kind of enjoyed. I realized I'm like, okay, how do I actually do this? Like, I got no idea what I'm doing. I just need someone to point me in the right direction. And then I realized, oh, there was that guy way back when. I can't remember what his name was. And then I did some digging and then found, your name and then found you on YouTube as well. And then just started going through all your case studies that I seen. I think the one that stuck out for me was the main one, which was Blaine's case study of like 40K a month at the time. And I
Yeah,
was like, man, that's insane. Like crazy results. And then as
yeah,
soon as I seen that, I was like, yeah, like I got to go all in on it.
love that. I actually caught up with Blaine in person for cigars recently because he actually lives here in Dubai. For those of you curious about how well Blaine's doing, he's doing very, very well. He's still consistently doing very well. He's moved to Dubai these days. And we caught up with each other smoking cigars with another client of mine as well, Reese, which you guys also might be familiar with if you've seen his recent case study on the channel. And he is still. We spoke about his case study as in the beginning. It didn't get much traction in terms of views into the video. I feel like a lot of people will watch that and not believe that that's actually possible and that's really happening. Like because it's such a
Mm.
out of bounds result. A guy who had no laptop before working with me, barely any tech skills, worked on a construction site, had no prior sales experience, to doing that in a year. It's hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around. So believe me, if you're watching this and you did watch that and you're like, I'm not sure if this is real, trust me, it definitely is. And Blaine's a very real guy, and he took a lot of hard work to get to that point, that result that he actualized to. But it's cool that that case study resonated with you. And so, to give the guys a picture of what you actually do, because I've never spoken about, you know, uh, a DM setter, appointment setter, case study on the channel. So, describe to people your job, what you do, and yeah, give us a better picture.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's not anything pretty. Like the my day-to-day routine is Like I literally just wake up, jump on my computer, and I'll be on there for like to start my day 4 to 5 hours, just catching up on any messages that have come into my inbox. And then after that, it's, have some breakfast or lunch and then continue doing that for the rest of the day. In terms of like the task and what the role actually looks like itself, basically I'm managing someone's inbox for them on Instagram who's got a lot of lead flow coming in. They're paying a lot for social media advertising. And essentially my only role from there is to qualify the combos. So people who are like a good fit for what the program that we have, and then the people who aren't a good fit. So separate those two. People who are a good fit, pretty much all I do is book them in for a call with a closer, and then the closer will go ahead, run them through the program on a Zoom call. And if they do close, if they collect cash, then I get paid a commission on top of that.
Wild. And so it's not as marketed, right? I think there's a big thing where, particularly for DM setting, you've got a lot of gurus and marketers that are marketing. Hey, you can just sit there for a couple hours a day and you just type away, text messages, things like that. It's not the
Yeah,
reality of it, right? There's actually a lot more
no,
effort and work that goes behind it. You're glued to your laptop, you're working a lot of hours to actually produce the level of income that you've produced, right?
yeah, 100%. I think yeah, it's a common misconception is like, yeah, do a couple of hours and then go and live your life, go to the beach, go swim in the pool. It's like you can't really just leave conversation sitting there for a long amount of time. You got to be on the ball, make sure you're following up with people, make sure they're booking in. So, there's a lot that goes into it.
I think that brings me to another great question, which I think a lot of people watching this interview will get a lot of value from is you've seen a lot of people inside the RSA that are getting the same results or more than you, and you hang out with some pretty successful people like Peter Bennett and other guys in the program as well. Based off your own personal experience and what you've seen from other guys inside the community of RSA, what does it take to be successful in this space from your own personal experience and what you've gleaned and what you've observed?
Um, I would say probably like the one defining factor is like just people who actually go all in on it and they don't just like half-ass it, so to say. It's like it's very easy to, come in, get some decent results, relax, which, I did as well. And you realize the second you kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit, you get complacent is when, things start to fall back to the way they used to be when you
Mm.
weren't having that success. So I think the guys that have had like awesome success, like Peter, he's making crazy money, and a few of the other boys that I know as well, is like they just dedicate everything to that one skill set for an extended period of time. Whether that's a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they just get really, really good at that, and they find success, and then they're able to branch out into other things because they've given themselves that really good foundation. So yeah, I think it's just going all in on it and not being half in, half out. So
Nice takeaways. So, two core things there: focus and time.
yeah,
So a lot of people, again, from outside looking in about high ticket sales, really, they think they can sometimes lump it in and put it in combination with like other business models like Amazon FBA or drop shipping or affiliate marketing, SMMA. And this is not that because you've got experience doing many other things as well as this. You're only responsible for your skill set, right? You have that significant advantage there. But the big thing is the thing that's probably prevented you from getting results with any other business model yourself, my personal experience as well as any other clients I work with, as anyone watching this, is your attention is too far split in different areas, or you just haven't done something for a long enough time duration period. Most people think that high ticket sales, a big misconception is like it's a biz op or it's a business opportunity. The way that if you're watching this, and obviously you can add to this as well, Bailey, if you like, but you need to treat high ticket sales and view it as literally just another job. It is another job. You work a lot to get a big result, you have to work hard, you have to have good work ethic, you have to have high professionalism, you have to have all these things still in combination. It's not like your own business, but you have to make sure that you're constricting your attention to just high ticket sales only for a really long term duration of time and consistently compound maximum effort and high work ethic to get a result like yourself, to get a result like any of the case studies in the YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Would I be right along those lines or anything to add?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. There's a concept like essentialism is what it's called, where the concept is 10 steps in 10 different directions is like it's not very constructive. It doesn't move the needle forward in any direction. But 10 steps in one direction will get you a lot more benefit and it'll move the needle like forward a lot more than it will compared to, the 10 steps in 10 different directions.
Besides the time aspect and doing it for being consistent over a long term duration as well as focus, what else would you tell a beginner that's like looking to get started with high ticket sales, that's just looking to get into the industry in terms of something that you would have told, younger version of you who was just like looking to get into the space for the guys that are watching?
I would say just figure out why you want to do it and have a clear direction on where you want to go in life. Not necessarily like 10, 15 years, but over the course of, the next year. Where do you want to see yourself like in the perfect scenario? And me personally, when I asked myself that, was like my ideal, I guess, vision wasn't working a job and it wasn't working somewhere continuously, like just making good money, but not enjoying what I was doing. So that's what actually led me to, take that risk and actually get the right help that I needed to put myself closer to that vision that I had where I was like, okay, this is what I want. This is what would actually, make me happy with my life. Being able to, work or not my own hours, but essentially work for, myself and have that freedom of being able to travel around, make good money from where I am in the world. And yeah, just giving yourself more freedom.
Great points. And there's two things I want to kind of tag on the back of there, which is one is understanding your why as why as you want to pursue this and why what is your motivation behind wanting to get into high ticket sales or making money online in general. I'll tell you what, it can't just be the fact that you want to make more money. That is a
No,
very
definitely
surface
not.
level goal. And the reason why that will be an issue for, I think this would be a lot of value for people who are looking to explore this space, is that money will only allow you to go so far. And with this industry, with this skill set, this vehicle, you will fail a lot. You make a lot of mistakes, which I'm sure you've had your fair share of those. You will get rejected a lot. You have a lot of times where you fall flat on your face. I'll tell you what, if you want to come into this just to make money exclusively, that will not be enough. There usually, if you dig deep enough, will be a deeper reason as to why you want to pursue this and you really want to make this work. And if you're looking to explore this space and potentially work with me a bit further, working one on one, you have to dig a little bit deeper and find out what is the real motivation behind you wanting to do this. It's not only going to help you in the shorter term to when time gets tough and you have challenges, obstacles, and problems you have to overcome, but it's also going to help you push towards the longer term, right? It's going to be a really, really, really big dividing factor between people who are unsuccessful with this and who are successful. And bridging off that, something great that I think you said as well is a big reason why a lot of people want to enter this space is not just because of the money, but the freedoms that come with it. And it's a really, really big point to emphasize of how that's changed things for you because you're at a point where you're now traveling. And I'd love for you to, tell the guys a bit more about that, where you're able to live in other parts of the world, Southeast Asia. You're able to travel, you're able to control your schedule a little bit more, you're able to be a bit more flexible with where you live depending on the time zone. Things are a bit different for you now. So, what freedoms have you now unlocked that you didn't have in your previous career, and how does things look different now?
For sure. Yeah, so believe it was about 2 months ago when I managed to save up. a bit of capital, and I realized, I don't want to be living at my mum's house for the rest of my life, right? So I'm like, okay, let's go out and let's, figure out something that or somewhere that I would actually enjoy living. For me, I'm more of a beach person, so I like that coastal lifestyle. Um, but also I don't want to be, spending 10 grand a month in just accommodation because it's not logical. I don't move away to necessarily, I guess, spend my money, but it's more so to put myself in a space where I can make more. Um, but yeah, having that freedom now to, like, I mean, 2 months ago, I moved to Thailand for a bit. I went to Chiang Mai. I was only there for a few weeks. Wasn't my kind of cup of tea, but I think it's a good place. Definitely a good place if you're, in remote sales or making money online, if you want to go there and, lock in on work for a bit. And then I decided to move over to Vietnam, where I am now in Da Nang, which is central Vietnam, bit of a coastal city. And yeah, it's given me that freedom where, if I wanted to, I could wake up and go down to the beach, walk for, 10, 30 minutes, go grab a coffee, live that beach lifestyle with the nice weather and everything. So yeah, it's definitely really good to have that, I guess, that location freedom. But at the same time, you also have responsibilities as far as work and you have your own goals as well. So it's important to stay on track.
And I think the beautiful thing that you unlocked there is choice. It's a big thing.
Yeah, for
Most
sure.
people don't have the choice to be able to do that, right? Even if you're making $6,000 a month, which again, to most people listening to this, that's a lot of money. That's great income in most instances. Like you're progressing pretty well in life if you're at that level. Everybody talks about six figures and everything else, but to a lot of people, that's a great income. You can live in other parts in the world if you're able to earn that type of income online remotely. And so the most beautiful thing that I think I really wish most people can experience is the ability to be able to earn an income from anywhere in the world because then you have the choice to be able to live anywhere that you want. And I think that's really, really beautiful when, again, you went to Thailand for a little bit and you're like, not my cup of tea. Let's go to Vietnam for a bit. And you really enjoy that pocket where you are right now. And it's like, it's something, a place that you actually enjoy and you can live for a little bit of a long term. I think you've got a lease, you mentioned for like the next 6 months, right?
Yeah, I just signed a new house for 6 months. So be here for a while. And yeah, I mean, even after that 6 months, it's like, okay, what do I want to do now? Like I
Yeah,
can
exactly.
I have
Like
that freedom. So
you could end up going to South America. You could go to really anywhere that you want and still get the same capacity of what I like to call currency arbitraging, where you can earn in USD or you can earn in AUD, and you can go spend that in countries like Southeast Asia or South America, and you still live a great lifestyle while keeping most of your money. It's a great
mm,
place to build. It's a great place to build, good wealth and a good amount of savings in a short amount of time, whilst keeping your quality of life higher than probably you would live in the West, whether it's Australia, the UK, or US. Like better food, better services, but everything, right? Which is
yeah,
really, really
exactly.
cool freedom to have, I think. So, what's your goal from here, man? Like, what are you trying to do in the next year or so? We're just cracking open, so it's Jan 8th, the time we're recording this. What are your plans for 2026? Where do you want to go from here?
For 2026, one big goal for me is obviously to progress in sales. So get into the closing side of things, not just the setting, um, which, I've been making moves for that, doing a lot of training, especially with you as well. And yeah, dude, I mean, by the end of the year, like my goal is to get to 50 grand a month in closing, whether that's AUD and I move to, somewhere else where it can give me that more, I guess, flexibility, or if I'm able to stay where I am now and, that those opportunities, come my way, then I want to capitalize on them. And yeah, dude, the goal is 50 grand a month. So I want to get there.
Wild. And so it's amazing what this space can do to your mindset and spoil the standards for what's actually
Yeah.
possible. Because most people will listen to that and go, that's ridiculous. How could that be possible only like a year and a half into a career? It's not possible. It's not feasible. Well, if you go watch a couple of case studies we've documented, I haven't documented all the guys who've surpassed that level. Still got a few guys I need to record with in person. Um, but there are guys who, you know, we work with inside the RSA who are 19 who do 40K Australian a month, which is like 25, 26K USD a month. Or you've got like Peter who does more than that, or Reese, or even Naveed recently, which is kind of leading the pack. And when he comes to buy, we'll probably film a case study. I don't know what the USD conversion is, but I think it's around 51K USD or something like that. Ridiculous. Now,
Wow.
yes, he's working 12 to 14 hours a day, probably more, but to show you the growth and potential of what's possible, it's so exciting that I love to hear your goals being like, wow, man, like I want to hit 50K AUD in commissions by the end of the year. It's amazing what this space can do and what it can expose you to like what's actually really possible, especially from guys inside the RSA as well, because I'm assuming
Mm.
the way that you came to believe that's possible is because you have close proximity to guys like that who are actually doing that with you and you see them on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was gonna say as well, was like network that like the people that you're, I guess, not necessarily spending, every day with, but you're surrounded by in terms of, this, you're seeing their results. You're able to speak to these people, you're able to spend time with these people, you're able to like pick their brain. The more time you can spend around people who are doing crazy results like that, the more normal that it becomes. And then the more normal it becomes, the more you realize like, man, there's no reason I can't do that if they can. Like if they can figure that out, then I know I can as well. So
100%.
that's,
And that,
I think, the power of having a good network, especially in RSA as well. Like it's the only reason I've actually been able to get the opportunities so far have all come through the RSA. So
awesome. I love that. And it's a great point to speak on, which I think is, I've mentioned a couple times in case study interviews, but exposure is the most valuable resource that you can ever get in making money online in general. Like for a lot of people watching this, most likely nobody around you has done what you're trying to do. Period. Like they just haven't. Most places of the world, it's not a common mainstream thing to make money online. It's a foreign concept to pretty much anyone, even in today's market of how popular it is these days. It's obviously becoming more and more normal, but it's still far from being mainstream. There's like a possible accepted career that's like a normal thing. So if you don't have people that are surrounded, that you're surrounded by that have exactly what you want or have achieved what you want to have, how could you ever expect to get to where you want to go if you're not surrounded by the right people and you're not in the right rooms? You're battling a very challenging game because you're going against the grain of beliefs that you haven't yet built. And if everyone around you is telling you that that's your reality and that's the only thing you can do the rest of your life, whether it's college, university, whatever degree it is that you're doing, if that's the standard of the people you're surrounded by, that is a life that you'll have. And so one thing that I really love of what we've built inside the RSA is at this point, this case study might be like the 52nd or 53rd case study we have. I have so many I haven't even filmed yet or publicly posted because I probably would just be spamming the YouTube channel at this point. But it's like to be able to buy your way into proximity of access to guys like that or people like that or people who are going to be in that trajectory of direction of being able to get those types of results. There's probably people you started with who weren't doing well and now are doing well. That makes such a massive difference in terms of your success rate with making money online because like you said, you get this picture in your mind of like, man, if this guy's doing it, then why can't I? Right? What's the difference? And
mm,
that's why throughout my content and every case study in the YouTube channel, I try to paint the picture. Bailey's no different from you. I'm no different from you watching this video. We're just two individuals that stuck to a path and was consistent and put a lot of hard work into it. And that's how we've gotten the results that we've gotten and all my other clients on the channel. But coming back to the main point, exposure is really, really key. And the more you realize that people who are successful or make money online or have made it in this space are literally just like anybody else. We all have the same problems. We're all not perfect. We all have times where we doubt ourselves. We all failed a bunch of times. You've tried different business models, you failed them. I tried like six, seven before I did high ticket sales, six, seven, eight different business models. I had been scammed a bunch of times. There's a list of failures, but that I didn't let that stop me. And yeah, just the more you realize that Bailey and I are just real people, then the more you're going to increase the likelihood of you pursuing what you want to do because why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Just becomes a new normal.
100%. So, what would your feedback be on the RSA, man? You've been in there for how long?
I joined back in May last year. So what's that, like 8 months now?
Beautiful. So, 7, 8 months, you're at the result that you're at the moment. So, what's your feedback of the RSA? What has the experience been like being a part of it? And yeah, just give the guys some insight from someone who's been inside the training.
Yeah, dude, it's been awesome. Like I said before, I think the one like thing that's been really key to me being able to, get the results that I have now is literally just the network that, you've built and Lucas as well. Like both of you guys have giving out tremendous value every week, in terms of the support and the guidance as well, not just, sales training, but actually guiding you through the industry and trying to give you advice on the career path and the best steps to take and what to look out for, what not to do. It definitely saves a lot of time. And I think if I didn't have it, then I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am at the moment. So yeah, I've got nothing but good things to say about RSA. It's yeah, definitely put me in an awesome position where, I'm able to have the opportunity to change my life and, put myself on an upwards trajectory. So
I love that, man. And what would you say to someone who's kind of sitting on the fence, right? Because in your position, you tried a bunch of different models and, didn't do so well with them. Maybe you've done some, courses or mentorships in the past. I'm not really too sure. But like, if you someone sitting on the fence of RSA or high ticket sales in general, like what would you say to that person who's kind of in between?
what do you have to lose? Like, there's literally nothing to lose. I mean, like, yeah, you might think you have money to lose, but at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't matter how old you are, money is always going to be a factor in your life. For me, like the worst case scenario is, I keep living with my parents until I can get back on my feet if it didn't work, which, to be quite honest with you, there's no way it doesn't work if you just keep trying. Like, there's literally no way. So, yeah, I mean, I would say, well, like, what do you actually have to lose if you, just roll the dice on yourself and you actually try? You might fail a few times, but I can guarantee you, like, it's going to work out. So,
Bye. You'll never know if you don't try, right? That's the key core
exactly.
message I think from that. So that's awesome. Any final notes you want to finish on, brother? Anything else you wanted to share with the guys?
Um, no, not really. All I would say is, if you do it and you decide to, click the link at the bottom and book a call, then I would say come in with an open mind. But like, if you do move forward, then go all in on it. Don't just be half in, half out. Like, do everything you can to make yourself seen in the community as well. Like, it's one thing being a part of it, but it's more important to be known in the community. Like, people know who you are as well. And that's how you like actually build the right connections and get the right opportunities as well. So yeah, my advice would be just go all in if you're going to do it.
Great advice. There's a very key difference between showing up and participating, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
I've heard you say that so many times.
yeah, and I think it's a term or a phrase that I've coined over time after coaching hundreds of guys at this point. The key thing that separates someone's success is showing up is, you're doing better than most people at that point, right? As far as
Yeah,
like asking questions, asking for feedback, that is doing more than most. But where my most successful clients come in at is when they come in with the intention of going all in, like you said, but fully willing and ready to be completely open to everything that I'm going to say and everything that I'm going to tell them, and does everything blindly, takes my advice, asks questions, comes to calls, trains, gets feedback, asks questions on calls, actually participates and shows up. There's a very key core difference between someone who just shows up and participates. So definitely a really,
yeah,
really good point there. But guys, as per usual, if you want results like Bailey, you know what to do. There's a link down in the description to apply for a call with myself and my team. Otherwise, guys, fantastic interview. Really, really, really cool to have you on, brother. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys in the next interview.
Yeah, next year, 50K a month.
Let's go. Interview in Dubai, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome.
Easy, guys. All right, we'll see you in the next one.